Alright, how's it going, everyone? It is November 17th today, and I'm going to be deer hunting up here for the next 5 days. Well, it's about noontime on the first day. I'm going to be hunting the rest of today, the following whole 3 days, and then the morning of the 5th day. So, logically 4 days, but 5 days. You get what I mean. Unfortunately for you longtime viewers, I will not be using the SKS this time. I have been having some issues with accuracy with that thing for the last couple years, and I just can't figure out what it is. I think it's the ammo, and since the Russian ammo ban here in the US, the Russian ammo that I was originally using was the only one that seemed to be real accurate, and now I can't find it. So, till I figure that one out, I'm just going to be using my 30-06. But, unlike the last time I was up here when I was using the SKS, I actually have antlerless deer tags this time, and I have 2 of them. So I have 3 deer tags total, 1 antlered deer, 2 antlerless deer. So pretty much any deer that I see, I'm going to take a shot at, so long as they present me an opportunity to take a shot. The main goal is to get some meat this week, and the weather is supposed to be pretty nice, with the exception of possibly some rain on the last morning, but I'll take it. It's going to be nice and cold. It's about 40 degrees out right now. It's supposed to be getting into the 20s each night. There's a little bit of snow on the ground, but most of it is melted. It snowed 2 nights ago, I believe. But yeah, I'm just going to get all my stuff packed up, get changed. I'm in the camper van, as you can see. I'm not going to be staying in this overnight, though. I'm going to be staying with my aunt and uncle while I'm up here, because this thing still doesn't have a heater, so I don't really want to be sleeping in it when it's 25 degrees out. But alright, let me get packing, and I'll see you guys when I'm out in the woods. Alright, we're out here in the woods. Just going to be still hunting my way around the rest of the afternoon. If I find any good sign, I might hang out there for a couple hours or until dark. Shall see. But when I was out here a month and a half ago, doing some small game hunting, I put a trail camera out here. It's a little ways out, but I'm just going to slowly make my way toward that swamp that it's on the edge of. And yeah, we'll see if we run into anything. I'll update you guys if I find anything. I just started. I'm already on a deer trail here. It's fresh tracks, looks like from this morning or last night, and some older droppings before the snow, so I'm just gonna follow it in, because it's generally heading in the same direction as the trail camera, so maybe I'll jump something up in the swamp here. I'm only 30 minutes in. I just bumped 2 deer. Couldn't see what they were. I just saw the flash of one of their tails through the brush. There's a urine wick on one of the saplings back behind me here. It's all frozen over, so it's older. Been left out here, but haven't seen or heard those deer. I'm gonna continue on and see if I can loop around and cut them off, because they're heading the general direction that I was too. It's a really nice spot in here. It's nice and open. There's multiple deer trails crossing this little clearing here. Plenty of trees to climb up in a saddle. A lot of fresh scat along it as well. I've left a mark. I'm gonna continue on, but I might return here later in the week and sit here for a day. Or half a day, we'll see. Fresh tracks. 2 scrapes. Older one, newer one. Alright, it's still there. Hopefully it worked. I'll show you guys what was on it now. Alright, well, nothing more this evening. Heading to a different location in the morning that historically, over many, many years, has provided deer. And the last time I was up here 2 years ago, there was no video on that because I never saw a deer. I only saw one squirrel the 2.5 days I was hunting. So there was no real content for you guys, but I only hunted this one spot the final morning before I left. And like 5 minutes in the shooting light, I heard a deer walking on top of this ridge down into the swamp. So tomorrow I want to be sitting looking at that ridge and hopefully a deer comes up. I've shot both of my bucks that I've gotten in Maine in this location. Both of them were mature 8-pointers, and the last one was 9 years ago. So I haven't hunted this spot very much since then. We'll see what tomorrow brings, but I'm hopeful. See you guys then. Alright, well, it's about 9 o'clock now. I haven't seen any deer, but what's even more strange is I haven't even seen a squirrel this morning. Every time I have sat here in the past in this location, there have been multiple gray squirrels and even red squirrels running around me. And I have not seen or even heard a single one running through the leaves, so I don't know what's up with that. But kind of miss them. It's kind of lonely out here without the squirrels. I'm going to start my walk back to the van, but there's a couple spots that I want to scout out. Check to see if there's any fresh deer sign in there, because I might sit there a morning or an afternoon, depending, later in the week. But my plan for the rest of the day today is after doing that, then I'm going to head to the location that I found yesterday where I bumped those 2 deer, where that scent wick was, and I'm going to get up in my tree saddle up into a tree overlooking that clear-cut area with the swamp out in front of me. There's multiple trails going up and down and across that clearing. A lot of fresh sign. Deer were there yesterday. And with there being a big swamp right in front of me, I would imagine the deer bedding in there, and bucks would use that clearing as a spot to cruise looking for does. So that's my plan for this afternoon, and I think I'm going to leave my tree saddle up overnight and go back in there in the morning. But I'm going to start walking out of here, see what I can find.
Meow. Meow.
Not even 10 yards. Wasn't expecting it at all. By the time I got on it, she was already in the brush right over here and starting to turn, so I had her on the scope, but I wasn't going to take the shot. Too risky. That was cool, though. I'm not far from where I'm going to be setting up, so it's a good sign. Man, that was close. Let's put it this way, if I didn't have a scope, I probably would have gotten on her, but it was so close and so quick with the scope that I couldn't get on her quick enough. But, alright, let's get to where I'm going to set up. Alright, so I'm in the tree. It is 15 minutes past 12, so we have 4.5 hours left of shooting light. I've got 2 main shooting lanes, one that you guys see over to my side here. That big scent wick that I found yesterday is up that way, probably about 60-70 yards. I can probably see a good, 80-100 yards each direction here, so some good shooting lanes. There's multiple deer trails coming in and out of this spot. The main swamp, where I believe is the main bedding area, is out in front of me. My wind's blowing in my face, so it's blowing back behind me. The two deer that I spooked yesterday were back in the wood line behind me. If any deer go in there today, I'll hear them, but I won't be able to get a shot probably. It's too thick back there, but that's all right. There's multiple trails that come out to this clearing and cross it, going back that way to where those two deer were. So, and then there's a main trail going along the cut that's down below me here. So hopefully a deer shows up, maybe even that doe that I just spooked on my way in here. Alright, well, only 5 minutes left of shooting light. The deer walked out right now. Probably couldn't even get a shot through the scope, it's too dark. So I'm gonna pack up the few necessities and I'll be back out here tomorrow morning. Didn't see any more deer. Did see a snowshoe hare behind me, probably about 20 minutes, half an hour ago. Tried to get the camera on him, but as soon as I moved for it, he buggered off. So yeah, alright. I'll be back in this spot in the morning. See you guys then. Alright, well, it's about 10:30 now. I haven't seen any deer, but on my walk in, I spooked another deer or two up by where I spooked that doe yesterday on my walk in. I got to the stand, climbed up here. About 15 minutes before shooting light, I could hear a deer, assuming that's what it was, walking back behind me. A good ways, probably 60, 80, 100 yards back there. It's hard to tell, but even if it was daylight, I don't know if you could see back there, but I would not have been able to see it. But since then, I haven't heard or seen any deer. The ground's real frozen, so I mean, if there was any deer walking around, I for sure would have heard it. But I'm gonna get down out of the tree right now. I might return here for the afternoon, but there's a spot that I want to check back behind me. There's a second little swamp that's back behind me, and I want to go onto the other side of it and see if there's another trail over there, or better trails than over here on this side. So I'm going to do that, then go grab lunch, and decide from there whether I'm going to come back here or move over into that side. I'll turn the GoPro on in case anything happens. We'll see what we can find. Alright, back in the tree. It's about 1:15 right now. I didn't find any more sign where I was scouting than where I'm currently sitting now, and I've got a better view of the area around me where I am now compared to where I was looking. So I decided to just stick in the same spot for the afternoon. Never mind, the wind has switched. I've only been here 5 minutes, and I just looked at the weather. Now they're saying the wind is blowing straight down the way, pretty much, slightly off into the woods. So if any deer come up on that main trail, they're gonna smell me. So I'm gonna move onto the other side of this trail. The big pine tree I can see from up here. It's right on the other side of this. So I'm gonna move and get up over there before it gets too late. Alright, I've moved. It's about 5 minutes of 2. The original tree I wanted to get into, which is about 20 yards in front of me, was too big to get the tree saddle strap around it, so I had to compromise and go back a little bit more. My view is just about as good. I can't quite see the crossing path out in front of me this way, as well as I would have over there, but still get a good view of any deer that cross in front of the scentwick spot in front of me, which is about 40 yards, 45 yards out in front of me here. There's another trail. You can see this one glimmer of light right up here. that comes from back in the woods here and comes out in a cross that way. It comes out in a cross that way. There's fresh deer tracks on that, so chance some will come behind me, but it's still crunchy, the snow, so I should be able to hear them coming. But we got about 2.5 hours of shooting light left, so just gonna wait it out, see what happens. Well, another evening of no deer. Never even heard one this afternoon, unfortunately. But tomorrow morning, there's supposed to be zero wind, so I'm going to be heading to the same spot that I was yesterday morning, tomorrow morning. It's an ideal spot for that, because the leaves are so loud that I'll hear a deer coming from a long ways away. But just going to pack up my things, and I'll see you guys all in the morning. Alright, well, it's 9 o'clock now. No deer this morning. I don't think I heard any deer. I did hear some louder crashes in the leaves a couple times this morning, but I think it was just squirrels, because it only happened once and then I never heard it again. I did actually see some squirrels this morning. Red squirrels. Still no gray squirrels in this spot, which is really weird, because as I said before, I always see them in this location, but I guess they're just not here now. I'm going to make my way to the swamp area that I'm planning on sitting this afternoon. There's 3 different locations that I'm thinking about sitting for the evening, and I'm not entirely sure which one I want to sit in yet, so I'm going to go scout each of those 3 and see which one tickles my fancy more. Let's get on the way, see what we can find. Alright, well, just walking along this swamp, and between 2 of the spots that I wanted to check, I just found a trail going from the top of the hill behind me down into the swamp down here, and there's 4 very fresh deer scats, all within like 10 feet of each other, so I think they're coming down the hill into the swamp in the evening, or vice versa. But the second spot I checked looked okay too, but this looks better. I'm gonna go over and check my 3rd spot and see if that's any better than right here. If it doesn't look any better than this spot right here, then I'll be back right here for the afternoon. Alright, heading to the trail that had all that fresh scat on it. It's about 1 o'clock right now, so I have a little over 3.5 hours left to shoot light. I'm just gonna be sitting on the ground, overlooking this trail. Gonna see which way the wind's going and determine what side of it I'm gonna be sitting on. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we have a deer come down it. There's more down there. That's the swamp. I'm gonna be sitting back this way. Alright, well, final evening, no deer. I've got tomorrow morning and that's it for me. Gonna be heading home midday tomorrow. I'm not sure where I'm gonna sit yet tomorrow morning, if I'm gonna sit here again or if I'm gonna sit back where I was this morning. I don't know. I'll check the wind and decide from there. But down to the wire here, so hopefully we can make it happen in the morning. But see you guys then. Well, I was just walking up the road, slowly making my way back to the van. I was gonna scout up through this little set of woods to a blind that I know that was on top of the hill a few years ago. And bucks travel through here. I was watching that little red squirrel out on the road there. And as soon as I stepped off the road into here, into the woods, I could hear more leaves rustling up in front of me. And it had to be a deer. It was right over this little rise on the other side. I could hear it walking parallel to the road, but unfortunately, because it was on the other side of the rise, I never got to see it. I gave a few bleat calls as I realized it wasn't going to be heading my way and I wasn't going to see it. And when I did that, it stopped making noise altogether. I haven't heard it again. But the last place I heard it was like right in this little gully right here, so I'm not entirely sure where it went. Unless it did walk off and I just couldn't hear it. Must have been the case, because it's not here. Definitely wasn't a squirrel. It was heavy, and it had a rhythm to its movement, so definitely a big animal, most likely a deer, being on this trail, since this is one end of that game trail that I was talking about. I'm gonna give it like 5 more minutes standing here. I don't think it's gonna come back even with all the calling I've done. Then I'm gonna slowly make my way up to where that blind was, and make my way back to the van. Alright, well, that's it for my deer season up in Maine this year. Unfortunately, didn't get a deer this time, but had a couple close encounters. The doe on the second day, that was only 10 yards away from me and I couldn't get on her in time. And then that deer from this morning, that was right over that ridge line and I just couldn't quite see him. But when I looked on top of that ridge, there was fresh deer scat up there, a couple piles of it. And I think I can see the main trail that the deer used to go up and down and the trail that that deer used. So I'll have to keep that in mind for next year. But I just set up one of my trail cameras along the swamp edge down behind me. Not the swamp edge that I was sitting on yesterday, but a different one. And yeah, hopefully I can get my SKS working by next season, or at the very least a different cool gun. But not like it would have mattered this time if I had it or not, because I didn't get a deer. But heading back to the van now, gonna pack up all my stuff. It's time for me to head home. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys all in the next one.